Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Well, apologies ladies and gentlemen if you have been waiting for quite a while for the stream to get going. We are here, we're live. And we've got very little time before we actually get things going. So, this is the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 9. Welcome along to Round 3 of the Championship, coming to you live from Road America in Wisconsin. That is round number 3 of this championship, as we mentioned. And it is the first of 3 endurance rounds of this championship. It is a championship of mixed formats. In the rounds with the white text, we have sprint and feature race format races. A 20-minute sprint race to start the night, and then a 60-minute feature race to end the night. But tonight, it is the first of 3 endurance rounds to be mentioned, which is a singular 2-hour endurance round. No qualifying, as the grids are set by championship order, reversed in each class group. So the golds will start in their group at the front, and it will be the grid sorted by the championship order, but reversed. So our championship leader in the gold category will start at the back of the gold category. And so on with the silvers, golds, and bronze category. So we're here at Wisconsin for this third round of the championship. I absolutely love this track. It's one of my favourites in United States, actually. But we have, as we mentioned, a singular 2-hour endurance tonight. It's not the most conventional of endurance tracks. Of course, it hosts IMSA Michelin Pilot each year. And it hosts IndyCar as well, which is likewise a 2-hour race featuring a lot of pit stops. But this track hosted a fair few seasons ago, and what a round it was indeed. And we're hoping this will be a good round tonight. And it could be even more exciting as we have wet weather right now. Now, it has calmed down a little bit. There was a lot more spray coming off the back of the cars earlier on in the session. The times have dropped by a few seconds, but it is still wet out there, as you can see on our data on the right there. But it might dry up as the session starts, as the session goes on. But we are just minutes away from the race starting, so let's get trackside and let's take a look at the drivers who are out there practicing right now. We have our championship leader out there, Harry Langford, in the gold category, championship leader that is. He's out there getting some practice in, and he's third in practice at the moment. It's a very mixed standings. There's gold, silvers and bronze drivers all over the place, and actually bronze category driver Joshua Downing is very quick out there. He is not too far off of top spot overall, that is, so he's looking very, very quick in these wet conditions. So let's take a quick look at the driver standings as we head into tonight, because they will set our grid. We'll fly through these pretty quickly because we're going to be getting on with the racing in 1 minute's time. In the gold category, it's Harry Langford leading the championship coming into tonight with a brilliant strategy call last week to win the feature race. Benji McCluskey did not have such a good feature race, and he drops down to second in the championship, 11 points down from the top. Stefan Vessel's in third position, with William Guthrie, the sprint race winner last week, in fourth position. Silver category is Jeffrey Kruger, who won this sprint race last week, is in first position with Matthew Addy. No race wins yet this season, nice and consistent though, second place. Alan McCain is in third place. He won in dramatic fashion the feature race last week with one of the closest finishes we've seen in the GT3 Championship ever, a photo finish with Paul Williams to end the feature race. Bronze category, Papa Constantino won both races last week, and he comes out as championship leader. Josh Downing is looking very quick tonight, but he's second in the championship, with Andrew Allen in third position. We are about to go into our race today, though. There is no qualifying, as we mentioned. We're going straight into the race, and we will show you the grid once the grid is assembling. Drivers out there on the track getting a little bit more practice in right now, and it's still fairly wet out there. And for those of you who are interested, we have 49 drivers, so nearly the 50, 49 drivers who are going to take on this endurance tonight. There's no driver swaps, nothing like that. It is these drivers, as we see an incident on them back straight there, it is these drivers doing the endurance themselves. It's a 2-hour race, and we normally expect 2 or 3 stops, but because this is wet, This is all a little bit of an unknown to us, including the drivers, including myself, because we haven't actually had an endurance race yet in the GT3 Championships here at NXTGEN on Thursdays in the wet. So it is all very unknown to us right now. And I do appreciate this is a little bit of a rush to get going here, but it's because we did have issues getting the live stream going. YouTube wasn't working for us for some reason, wasn't playing ball. So we pressed a few buttons, we got it working, we're here now. So we've got 18 drivers in the gold category, 15 drivers in the silver category, and 16 drivers in the bronze category. And without further ado, here is our grid. If it wants to let us. Okay. Everything is not playing ball tonight. Okay, so in the gold category, we'll go with them first. It's David Price starting at the front of the grid with Phil McDougall, the runner-up from silver category last season, in second position. Jesse Payne-Wilkins in third position with Matt Cheverton in fourth. Jason Raff, fifth position with Brandon Vincent-Squibb, last season's silver champion, is in sixth, with Gaz Williams, the host of the series, in seventh, starting alongside his teammate Gavin Gardner. Adam Wilson-Weir, previous winner at this track in the bronze category a few seasons ago, is ninth, with George Plaster in 10th alongside. Jack Pittas in 11th, with William Guthrie, last week's sprint race winner, is in 12th. 13th is Stefan Vessels with Benji McCluskey. The defending champion is 14th, with championship leader Harry Langford in 15th. Kieran Davidson, the feature race winner of Mexico City a few weeks ago, is 16th, with Ben Oucher in 17th, and Archie Bennett, one of the quickest actually in practice, is 18th. Robert Savage will start at the front of the silver category with Quinton Klumpert on his second round of the championship in second. Zara McGuinness in third position with Elwyn Sykes in fourth. Nigel Stock will start fifth with Sean Shute in sixth. Paul Williams, who was at the epicentre of that dramatic finish at the end of the silver category race last week, is seventh on the grid today. Stein Vatens eighth with Stephen Fry in ninth position. Wojciech Kerp in 10th. In 11th place is Alan McCain, the feature race winner from last week, with second in the championship Matthew Addy in 12th. 13th position is John Berry, with Mark Baker in 14th position, and Neil Forbes starting 15th. Of the bronze category, Mike Reedner will start on the pole position with Yaroslav Pataluk in second position. Sammy Arable will start third with Jochen Seeger in fourth position. Joseph Wright, fifth position with Wesley Lewin in 6th, Leslie Brazil in 7th position with Andy Rooney in 8th. Lewis Mason, the feature race winner of Mexico City, is 9th with Jonas Anderson in 10th. Andrew Allen 11th with Joshua Downing, the sprint race winner from Mexico City, is 12th. Kurt Van Honecker is in 13th position with Fabian Kozielek in 14th position. Davide Favo in 15th, and Mark Sykes, Mr. Next Gen himself, will start 16th at the very back of this 50-car grid as it's just turned 2. 50 cars about to take on this Road America circuit in Wisconsin. And a little bit about the Road America circuit before we get going, because, you know me, I love my facts about the tracks. Yeah, we're sitting between Milwaukee and Green Bay. We're about 57 miles north of Milwaukee and about 55 south of Green Bay, smack bang between the two infamous places in the Wisconsin state. And we're about 20 kilometers away from Lake Michigan, of course, one of the largest bodies of water in Northern America. We have a 14-turn circuit in Road America today. There's 10 corners to the right and 4 to the left, so it's quite intense on the left tyres of this circuit, with there being a lot of long corners on this circuit. In particular, the carousel corner, which you can see at the top of the circuit. It is a more than 180-degree carousel right-hander, and it is very wearing on the tyres and very difficult for the drivers to get their absolute perfect line through that corner, especially being that it is wet out there. And let's just check on the weather, actually. Yeah, lightly wet still out there, and a very low track temperature as well, which means it's going to stay wet for a little bit longer. But we have the sun out, and we have the drivers going around the circuit shortly, which means it's gonna be drying up quickly, but it will start wet in this session. And there is no wet rain scheduled in this race. I have checked that. Normally I don't, but I have checked that this time around. So it will only get better for these drivers. But they are starting this race in difficult conditions. And we are about to get going. They are on the back straight, which is referred to as Kettle Bottoms. I'm not entirely sure why it's called that, but we're going to head towards Canada Corner, which is a very infamous corner on this circuit. And the reason it's called Canada Corner is because it is the most northerly corner on the circuit, and of course Wisconsin State borders Canada. So a very creative name. And a fantastic track. I'm so glad to see it back in the schedule here at NXTGEN Racing on Thursdays. And here we go with the drivers moving off of their start point. It is a rolling start to start this race. And as soon as we get to the line, it will be go time. Now they will have to stay on the limiters until the lights go green. Then they can floor it. But they must be careful, as when they floor it, the rear wheels are going to be cold. It's wet out there. So let's see what happens on this opening lap. We've got a long straight down towards turn number 1 to start this race, and it's a very difficult turn number 1 and quite a narrow circuit actually, so this could be a very interesting opening lap. The gold category will start first, and then later on, about 5-10 seconds later, will be the silvers, and then 5 to 10 further later will be the bronze. But Phil McDougall and David Price lead us to the line. Away we go with round 3 of the championship, and it's a great start from David Price in the gold category to lead us off of the line. Down towards turn number 1 we go. They're already twitching the cars sideways a little bit, trying to find the grip as we head into turn number 1. The back of the grid are the drivers fighting for the championship, so they can be very nervous heading through, but so far so good for the gold category drivers. Here come the silvers now, down towards turn number 1. Into turn 1, first goes Robert Savage. And the championship leaders, as I mentioned, towards the back of the grid, so they can be very tentative going into turn number 1. But silvers have done very well as well. Bronze category about to get going. Yaroslav Pataluk seems a bit out of formation, but off we go, and he's on the throttle much later than everyone else. Swarming around him goes Sammy Araba, and there is contact there. That's Jochen Seeger is taken around, and so's Joseph Wright. This is not how the bronze category will want to start their race. And there are drivers who are coming out of the pits. They started from the pit lane, but there's drivers whose races are potentially ruined already there. But Sammy Araba's got away with that. He's up the front here, and Josh Downing, second already, and he's second in the championship heading into tonight, and he was quick in practice. So this is looking good already for him, and we're barely 2 corners in. So a very interesting start to this race. David Price and Phil McDougall battling side by side. Round carousel they go, and Phil McDougall takes the lead of the race now. A good start also for Archie Bennett. He started towards the back of the gold grid. He's already up a fair few places, and look at him, he's already getting around Jesse Payne Wilkins, that is to his left, into the kink. Very difficult corner in wet conditions. Oh, and there was close, very close to contact there between Bennett and Payne Wilkins. But Bennett was very quick in practice, so look out for him in this race. Oh, look at that in front. Nothing to be seen there, and the car twitching sideways under braking, tiptoeing through the corner. But Bennett seems very confident out there in the silver category. Klumpert, who was on his debut last time out for Type 2 Racing and in this league, is in the lead of the silver category right now. Biggest mover of the category in silvers, that is John Berry. He's up 4 places by the seeming of it. And in bronze category, already into the lead, past Sammy Araba, is Joshua Downing in the Acura. For Type 2 Racing Moors, he's already up into the top spots. And this is a 2-hour endurance, as we mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, so a long way. Drivers are going to have to settle in. Here's Matt Cheverton versus Adam Wilson-Weir. Oh, Wilson-Weir's gone a little bit wide, and he just twitched the car a little bit sideways to get it round the corner. But he's lost momentum as we head down to turn number 2. But Archie Bennett's looking to get inside of Matt Cheverton already for turn number 2. Not to be, though. Phil McDougall controlled at the moment in the iconic, notorious green CXR Mercedes out front there. But we still got Cheverton and Bennett side by side. Bennett has got the right side, which is probably not the favoured line for this corner. And Cheverton is later on the brakes. We do have some drama by the seam of it in the silver category. We've got Elwyn Sykes off the track here. And we might be able to cut to a replay of that. We also have an issue in the gold category. So let's see what's happened in the silvers. This is Elwyn Sykes. Looks like Nigel Stock behind and another one of his teammate, Elwyn's teammates. Just loses it through the corner there. Whoa, and just about avoided. Now, Alan McCain did collect Elwyn Sykes, but might have got away with that. Stein Vaten's also collected Elwyn Sykes then. But what happened to Brandon Vincent Squibb and George Plaster? Both the Type 2 Racing. No, sorry, George Plaster is in the Gaslit Motorsports team. Do apologise. Oh, Vincent Squibb loses it and he puts it into the wall, probably purposely. He could see he was heading towards the crowd there, and I think George Plaster was just put off by that. Meanwhile, still this battle between Bennett and Cheverton. It's almost as if they're still side by side from when we left them just a moment ago. But Bennett is through and into third place. What a start to this race he's had already. Elsewhere in the category, Stefan Vessel's up to 9th. William Guthrie is up to 7th. Benjamin McCluskey, not much movement from him yet. He's in 13th. But Harry Langford has moved forward a few places. He's there in 12th now, up 3 places. Fast lap of the race at the moment, a 2:21 for Phil McDougall. Having a clear track ahead of you in the wet is advantageous in that you have better visibility. In the bronze category, Mark Sykes has had a very good start to this race, and I have to admit, he didn't have much practice right before this race. He was helping me get this live stream ready. So to get back in the car and gain 11 places at the start of this race is some going. So let's see how Mark gets on later on, because this is looking very good at the moment. Zara McGuinness, a good start to this race. 1 second off top spot, Quinton Klumpertz at the moment. Zara McGuinness in second place, gapping Sean Shute behind, who has Nigel Stock for company behind. Alan McCain there, who did collect the stricken Elwyn Sykes earlier on. It seems the car is okay at the moment. Runs in 6th at the moment, does Alan McCain. Championship contender, you could say, at this point, with 4 individual races down, 2 rounds down. With a race win under his belt as well. The feature race last time out, winning it by, I think it was something like 14 hundredths of a second in front of Paul Williams. That's Phil McDougall passing a back marker. By the looks of it, it was Wesley Lewin. David Price behind with Phil Bennett. Phil Bennett's a rugby player. Archie Bennett behind. No move yet from Archie Bennett. It's fascinating watching Archie Bennett be able to be so comfortable. And look at that, he's keeping it nice and tight to the apex, and then as soon as the car grips up, he's flooring it, and he's able to get the exit speed on these drives, and he just drove past David Price there. So good stuff from Archie Bennett at the moment. While it stays wet anyway, he's the one to look out for in this gold category. That's what the wet does, especially on iRacing, especially in fixed setup series like this. It throws the cat amongst the pigeons. Now we turn our attention to the championship leader heading into tonight. The most recent winner in the gold category, Harry Langford. He's ahead of Ben Altria and Stefan Vessels here. He's had a good lap by the looks of it, getting past Vessels. Let's see what happens into turn number 1. No moves from any other drivers. Ben Altria just kind of following him through. But Langford has got his teammate, Jack Pittas, right in front of him, who's sporting a slightly different livery this week by the looks of it. I wonder what that's in aid of. Interesting. I'm sure Pittas will let us know a little bit later on. But Langford, his teammate, right behind in 9th place. It's just a trail of gold category cars at the moment. Oh, and back there, we have got Jason Raff. No, not Jason Raff, excuse me. That was Stefan Vessels. Getting all out of shape. Making a little bit of contact with Ben Altra, but he got away with it. And that's how tricky things can be in the wet. And these cars have got very low downforce setups as well, which really does not help. Oh, Steinvatens has had some drama here. See what's happened to the Belgian driver for Type 2. Had a good start to this season, but it doesn't look like a good start to this race. This is heading into Canada corner. Yep, it just turns sideways. The car did not grip on the exit of the corner, mid to exit. Back to the bronze category. Josh Downing is out in front, but Jonas Anderson, he was also looking very, very quick in practice, has gained up on the British driver in the Acura ahead. And it could be straight up between these two. They have got a big gap to third place behind them. And Jonas Anderson, he's showed pace this season in the bronze category, but hasn't yet put in the big wins yet. Tonight, he might be able to go for that with him being right up there in the running right now. They make their way past Elwyn Sykes. That is for overall position, not necessarily for championship category points. As Jonas Anderson really pushing it as he goes sideways at a carousel corner. Fastest lap of the race from Archie Bennett. Fastest lap is significant because you get 2 bonus points from this race by getting the fastest lap. Usually in the sprint and feature races it's 1 bonus point, but for this endurance race it's 2. And these drivers also get 3 fast repairs. Oh, hang on a minute. They're slow moving out of turn number 1. That was Ben McCluskey. Let's see what's happened. He's dropped behind a few drivers. The car's going sideways and it would not grip back up. Now goes Ben McCluskey. Even the greatest of drivers out there are making mistakes. Now it is brightening up a little bit and the spray off the back of the car is reducing a little bit, but it doesn't make it any less difficult for these drivers. Ben McCluskey has got some recovery to do. His rivals are further up the road. Stefan Vessels has dropped down the order. This, by the looks of it, is what's happened to Steph Vessels. Has dropped him down so far. That's Ben McCluskey ahead. This is at Carousel. Is it just going to understeer off from here? Oh, it goes sideways. Oh, he hits the wall as well. Like I said, they're going to have 3 fast repairs available to them, and basically it's the magic ones you can cast on your car and it'll put itself back into shape, but you have to do that in the pits. Jesse Payne Wilkins has had an issue as well. Here he is. This is heading through the kink. Oh, it just slips sideways on the curb. Sometimes it just depends how well you take a curb in the wet. The paint will literally just slip you sideways, and that's what's happened to Payne Wilkins there. It's dropped him down to 4th, still going, but dropped off a little bit of time. Ben Altra makes his way past Gaz Williams. But Harry Langford and William Guthrie are blasting away here. 4th and 5th they're up to now. But meanwhile, towards the front, Phil McDougall is being caught by Archie Bennett, and he himself is 11 seconds clear of nearest rival Matt Cheverton in 3rd. So this is a clinic Archie Bennett's putting on in only the opening 12 minutes of this race. Meanwhile, back to the silver category. We'll go back to the gold category shortly. Bizarre McGuinness is in the lead of the race. John Berry in 2nd position, not too far behind, and Alan McCain in 3rd. Good start to this race for Alan McCain. So let's keep an eye on this gold category. This could be a change to the lead very soon. We'll see how well Phil McDougall can hold this. We've seen he was very, very guarding of his position in the silver category last season and in previous seasons, but this is gold category, and this is the wet. You are more vulnerable in the wet in that you're approaching corners slower, and it just makes the track feel all a little bit more wider when you're in the wet. Seems like a good sequence of corners for Phil McDougall so far as they head through the kink. Close between 3rd and 6th in the gold category as well, and it's looking fairly close for the top 3 in the bronze category. But yeah, Quinton Klemper has dropped out of the lead of the silver category for some reason. We'll see if we can catch that. Here we go. Archie Bennett in the gassed up Motorsport Porsche in the green CXR Mercedes. It's Phil McDougall. Will it be done under braking? He's looking at it. He's looking inside. He's thinking, can I do it under braking into this corner? He's not going to. It is a very risky corner to overtake in generally, let alone in the wet. But Archie Bennett has got the benefit of time at the moment, in that he's got 12 seconds gap to Matthew Cheverton and everyone else in gold category. But this is the thing, Archie Bennett started towards the back of the grid in gold category, so he hasn't been gifted this through grid position or anything like that. He has fought his way through on lap 1 in particular. Wide there goes McDougall. Is this the time? Over the hill they go. To the inside goes Archie Bennett. Understeers a little bit, but Phil McDougall can't respond. Archie Bennett takes the lead of the race. Meanwhile, for 3rd place, this is William Guthrie in front of Matt Cheverton, who's frantically flashing his lights. He's not happy about something. This is William Guthrie making his way around. This would be approaching turn number 3 on the circuit. Past he goes. What happens under braking? Well, there is a bit of door-to-door contact, and there was contact between them two last time at Interlagos, and there is again. Well, I get the feeling those two don't really like each other. We spoke to Matt Cheverton last time, and wasn't much comment on what happened. Oh, there's a car touring on the side there. I think that might have been Mark Baker. It is Mark Baker with a missing front end, keeping well out of the way of oncoming traffic. Hopefully he can get it back to the pits and resume this race. Now, William Guthrie is up to 3rd place now with that pass on Matthew Cheverton. Harry Langford looking to get by now as well. Oh, and we have a caution. Drivers come down to crawling pace. Now, we saw last week at Interlagos drivers going into the pits during the full course yellow. But this is not within window by the looks of it. I'm not in the know about the ideal pit windows. But even I know that this is too early to make a stop. In a 2-hour race that is a 2-stop race. Potentially, if you get it all right. Now, by the looks of it, that was caused by debris on the track. Might be Mark Baker's front bumper that we saw. He was missing. Now, this is the silver category. They're very, very close at this point. It's the top 4 of Zara McGuinness, John Berry, Alan McCain and Matthew Addy. Only one of them has won a race this season. There we go. We are green again at Road America. And that was a good restart from Zara McGuinness. Pulls away a little bit from John Berry. Under pressure from Alan McCain there. Matthew Addy, what a strong start to the season Matthew Addy has had as well. Very consistent results. And he's 2nd in the championship. He's right behind Alan McCain here as we head towards the start-finish line across it. and down towards turn number 1. Will he make the move into turn 1? He is alongside. There we go. Under braking. Can he get it slowed down? Yes, he can. Oh, the car twitching sideways. And I think Alan McCain's responding with the undercut. Can he get underneath at turn 2? No, he can't. Matthew Addy takes place number 3 in silvers. Bronze category still fairly close for the top 2. Josh Downing still in first place with Jonas Anderson in the 2nd position. This is 3rd place, just to check in with them again for gold category. No moves yet from Harry Langford. He's still behind Ben Outre, who's moved himself into 4th place past Matt Cheverton and Harry Langford. Let's get back to this silver category battle as the lead has just swapped as we were looking away then. That's John Berry and Zara McGuinness have swapped positions. Is this a tactical swap? It looks like Zara McGuinness is slowing on the straight there. He's letting John Berry through by the looks of it. Yep. I got a feeling that was a tactical team swap. Zara McGuinness might have said, you know what, John, you're quicker, you go ahead. Whoa, as Matt Berry nearly loses it heading out of carousel. Yeah, towards Canada corner. Matthew Addy's looking very quick in these wet conditions right now. No move into Canada corner. And Alan McCain lurking behind, probably just waiting for something to happen ahead. Final corner. That looked like a very good exit from Matthew Addy. You could just see on the exit of the corner, he just straightened up the wheel a little bit more to make sure that the car was sliding, the wheels facing forwards rather than turned. And he's already alongside Zara McGuinness. This will be the move for 2nd position if he can get it done. Zara's late on the brakes there, actually. And actually, Zara's done very well to hold on to that position. Perhaps Matthew Addy being a bit too conservative because Alan McCain is right behind, but not able to make the move going into turn 2. We are 1/6 of the way through this race. We've seen this season is we normally get stops between 30 and 35 minutes. That was a bad exit from the corner from Zara McGuinness, but I don't think Matthew Addy has enough grunt to get it alongside. Not to be. All of them just trying to get good exits out of these corners, and Alan McCain had the best exit of all of them there, but there was just no way to get alongside and past. It is a fairly narrow track here at Road America, and although the wet weather can make the track feel a little bit wider in that your cornering speed is much less, it is still a narrow track with corner after corner after corner. Alongside goes Matthew Addy, aquaplaning a little bit on the outside there, but through the kink they're side by side. Oh, there was nearly contact between the two of them. They both had to back off, but Alan McCain was coming, but he's not able to get it alongside. Zara McGuinness inside Matthew Addy, and later again on the brakes. This is a valiant defence from Zara McGuinness. Matthew Addy tries powering it around the outside. We'll have the inside for the next corner, but then Zara McGuinness wants the inside for the next corner. And she hangs on. Brilliant, brilliant driving from Zara McGuinness to hang on to this, and it's allowing John Berry to stretch away. Brilliant teamwork at Type 2 Racing. It's near 5 seconds lead now in the silvers for John Berry. There he is. And back here is the battle for 2nd. And actually, look who's lurking in. Neil Forbes in 5th place is gaining on this battle up ahead. Still no movement between Josh Downing and Jonas Anderson. Side by side again. Now they head down to turn number 3. Addy's got his nose ahead, but Zara McGuinness not later on the brakes this time. Matthew Addy has got it ahead. Will he hang on to it now, though? With a few attempts, Matthew Addy has learned that Zara McGuinness is able to get it so late on the brakes. And we have a position swap also. Langford has just passed Ben Altria, and I think it's because Ben Altria went off the track at Carousel. There's Ben Altria in the middle of our screen. Yep, just goes off somehow. Impressively hangs on to that, and there goes Langford past into 4th position. That was very impressive car handling from Ben Altria to keep it in a straight line and to get it back on the track. That's Ben McCluskey making a move on teammate Gaz Williams for 8th place. Now, Ben McCluskey hasn't had the best of starts to this race. He'll admit that. As we're just seeing Alan McCain through the kink, trying to get by Zara McGuinness, and the two are side by side. And if our cameras want to switch to a TV camera right now, which they do, they're still side by side heading to Canada Corner. Oh, look at that, trying to shake it sideways to slow it down is Alan McCain. Uses all the roads and a little bit more is past. Now Zara McGuinness is down to 4th place and in trouble with Neil Forbes. But Alan McCain is into the podium spots and has lost a little bit of time to Matthew Addy, who already is setting after John Berry, and a second sliced out of his lead already. Harry Langford has got his way past Ben Altria, as we mentioned, and now he'll be able to focus on William Guthrie up ahead. They're 13 seconds behind Phil McDougall, who's a further 5.5 seconds behind Archie Bennett. This is Neil Forbes alongside Zara McGuinness. This is for 4th place. Through goes Neil Forbes. So this is our championship leader, 4th place right now. Now, big points can be scored in the silver category. Not the silver category, the endurances. Excuse me, I was just looking at the chat, so I didn't have it open. Yeah, so big points can be scored. Up to 52 points can be scored for a win and fastest lap in these races. So big points on offer. More points than what you get in the sprint and feature race combined. So they're very important races, are these endurances. Now, we were talking about Ben McCluskey a moment ago. Ben McCluskey's had a slow start to this race, but normally he is not as quick at getting through the pack as other drivers, such as Langford, such as William Guthrie. But we will eventually do it, and that was a big spin from Jaroslav Pataluk into the barriers. Just want to see that. I just wonder if he was helped around. I don't think he was. No, definitely not. The car's just gone round there. Yeah, on the accelerator. While still turning the steering wheel a little bit. That's caused the car to go around. Heavy damage to the car. Now, in the pits already is Archie Bennett. 27 minutes in, is in the pits from the lead and will drop down a lot of positions here. Now, I wonder why. A very alternate strategy already pulled from the race leader. What does he know that we don't? Jack Pittas on the inside of George Plaster and Jason Raff at the front of them. Trying to go for the inside, but George Plaster backs out of it. Raff keeps 9th place. Now, Jason Raff has won a few silver category races in the past, but has gone up to gold category for this season. Meanwhile, we'll just keep an eye on this. The silver category's getting close for the top 2 spots. Matthew Addy's already caught John Berry. George Plaster goes wide, brakes a little bit too late, or couldn't get this car slowed down, one or the other, if not both, and drops a place to Jack Pittas. This is Matthew Addy, and Alan McCain's not too far behind as well. They have gained... Matthew Addy at the moment has gained on John Berry at a rate of knots. fact, on that last lap was 3 seconds quicker than John Berry. Alan McCain on that last lap was a second quicker than Matthew Addy. So this silver category, not over by any stretch. There's been a swap of places in the bronze category. This is Jonas Andersen now in front. Of Josh Downing, and this is how it happened. There is a dry line assembling on the track, as you can see now from above. That's Josh Downing up ahead. Oh, and he slips it sideways. Behind Nigel Stock he was. That's it. That's Jonas Andersen through and in front. There are drivers in the pits already. This is the majority of the gold category. So it means Archie Bennett wasn't particularly off strategy, was just a lap earlier. Might have been for safety. And in the pits goes Matthew Addy. Alan McCain carries on out on the track. Now we have found that going longer benefits in these feature and endurance races, as it means you have to fill up with fuel less as the race goes on later and later. Now there's a lot of cloud assembling above us. This might mean that there could be more rain on the way, but I did check the forecast. Definitely no rain forecasted, but things can change. It's based on realistic weather, so it kind of takes an AccuWeather forecast from the actual location, base it partially off of that. Now Archie Bennett is back out on track. And is away down the road from Phil McDougall and still safe from Harry Langford, who's back out on track after his first stop of the night. He's got ahead of William Guthrie under the pit stops though. Was able to get out of the box, in and out of the box quicker than William Guthrie by the looks of it. And overtaking the pit, and look at them frantically warming up their tyres on the straight on their outlap. And of course, the new tyre model to iRacing in the last couple of months or so means that the opening lap is horrendous on these in these cars on these tyres. Now the order is a little bit shuffled up at the moment. There are drivers who are still out there who haven't pitted yet. I'm going to be keen to see how Matthew Addy gets on against John Berry and Alan McCain. Now the slow outlap for Matthew Addy means that he might not get out in front of John Berry immediately, but with warmer tyres might be able to make a pass. It all depends what happens. Ben Altrue and Jesse Payne-Wilkins, both full tilt drivers, are in the pits. Matthew Cheverton also. David Price heads into the pits. Now John Berry and Alan McCain. I think I just saw there's a little bit of rain falling still. Yeah, there is. There's still rain falling above us, so the track might get wetter. In the pits goes the two silver drivers. Archie Bennett passes by. He'll take back the overall lead in this race. Now let's keep an eye on Matthew Addy. He's heading through the kink. That's Brandon Vincent Squibb ahead. He's a fight for overall position, but not necessarily for category. This might be holding up Matthew Addy if he is quicker than Brandon Vincent Squibb. Still in the box is Alan McCain and John Berry. See whether he hasn't got Brandon Vincent Squibb in front of him anymore. Now he's on to the main straights. John Berry makes his way towards pit exit. There's Alan McCain, not yet left his box. And there goes Matthew Addy. So Alan McCain is in his box a little bit longer. Perhaps there's drivers who are considering taking on fresher tyres, and we have a full course caution out there. This has happened whilst whilst the pit stops are going on. McCain's now rejoining the track. Now I wonder if Alan McCain has taken on new tyres. Because normally they don't. Normally they'll just leave the tyres on and continue on. As long as they can go anyway. So John Berry's still in the lead of the silver category. Matthew Addy wasn't able to get it by. He would have hoped for this outlap here. Now his tyres are going to cool down. While John Berry ahead can at least get a little bit of warming up in. So this has helped John Berry a little bit. Andrew Allen, I think he's benefited the most because he was in the pits just then. I'm just going to check that he was. That's away we go again. Yeah, he was. So he has definitely benefited the most, has Andrew Allen. He was the leader of the championship heading out of Mexico City a few weeks ago. Not a race winner yet, but through pitting on that caution, it meant that Josh Downing and previous race leader Jonas Anderson, who's in the pits right here, it's meant that they've dropped down quite a bit of time, and Jonas Anderson has dropped down a huge amount of time. So there we go, Andrew Allen back out on the track in bronze category, has gained a lot of places there. We saw that last week at Interlagos. Certain drivers were really benefiting from the timing of the four-course yellows. It's already happened again today. Now, Alan McCain and Nigel Stock here for Crest Autosport are now 4 and 5 together. They can help each other out potentially. We've also got Stephen Fry at the back of those two drivers. He's also their teammate. They've got the bronze category driver Andrew Allen in between them. They can work together potentially, but they are way down. About 5 seconds. If the relative warms up a little bit, it might go below 5 seconds now. Yeah, John Berry still leads this race in silver category. Neil Forbes into second place. Matthew Addy has got the work to do again. He did not pass John Berry previously as he goes off the track. Pushed a little bit too hard on the exit there. And that's going to drop him off a little bit of time from Neil Forbes and John Berry now. Benji McCluskey doing all right at this point in the race. He's into the top 5. The pit stops have benefited him in that he's in the top 5. But he's got a long way behind Harry Langford and William Guthrie. 10 seconds behind, in fact. So Harry Langford tries to find his way around Sammy Araba. He is only 2 seconds behind William Guthrie. He himself is less than 10 seconds behind Archie Bennett again. Archie Bennett, the pit stops did not go oh so well for him, but he's still leading this race. That's all he'll care about. All split up and divvied up in the bronze category. Andrew Allen out on his own. Josh Downing still in second place. His position not greatly affected. It's just the time behind first place now that is greatly affected. Mark Sykes, as we said earlier on in the race, had a really good start to this race. He's in third now in the bronze category. But Kurt Van Honecker with the fastest lap of this race at the moment. As we've just seen the purple time appear on our timing tower, and that means he currently holds the 2 bonus points, which has just been taken by Wesley Lewin in the bronze category. Vincent Klumpert has made his way past Stephen Fry. He's had an incident. Let's just take a quick replay to see what happened to him there. He was behind his teammate Nigel Stock. Off the track there. Oh no, and into... Oh, just avoided the wall. I think just avoided the wall. But that will lose Stephen Fry a bit of time and 1 place to 7th place in silvers. Now, on the main straight, Neil Forbes is right behind John Berry. This is the battle for the silver lead. Three Mercs pushing each other along pretty much. And we have seen a position swap for second place in gold category. We'll go to that shortly. But nothing yet from Neil Forbes on John Berry. This is William Guthrie passing Phil McDougall for second position. And the track is actually drying as Ben McCluskey has set the fastest lap of the race for 2:10. There we go, to the inside goes William Guthrie and makes his way through. Phil McDougall doesn't actually rival that too much then. Matthew Addy's to the inside of Neil Forbes. We head down to turn number 3. Very late on the brakes was Matthew Addy and is able to get it stopped. He is absolutely cooking in this silver category today in the wet. I can't quite remember the last time Matthew Addy, he's off the track there, and there's a car off in the background. It looked like an Audi or an Acura off in the background. I can see there's still rain falling, I think. We could just catch it there. Oh, is this contact from Langford on Phil McDougall? And Phil McDougall's gone into the pits for some reason or another. And this won't be for a scheduled stop. Now, I wonder if he's thinking about heading on to dry tyres. Well, there we go. To my little knowledge, there are drivers who are out there on dry tyres from the last stop. There we go. So there are now drivers switching over to the dry tyres, where the wet tyres are going to start to get slower, and Phil McDougall is one of them, and actually losing the race lead now is Archie Bennett. We've also got the bronze leader, Andrew Allen, who's still out there on wet, whilst Mark Sykes is absolutely cooking it right now on the dry tyres and has got past Josh Downing. But this has really turned things on its head. The car's just getting quicker and quicker out there now. This is effectively a dry track. Still damp out there, but there is a dry line assembled, and now the slick tyres are quicker. William Guthrie is now the leader of this race. Archie Bennett now dropped to 11th place. He'll be a little bit gutted because it was going so well for him. Now, I suppose the disadvantage comes when he was the first driver to pit. Drivers kind of can react to what you do, and you can see what compounds the other drivers are on. Oh, that's slick tyres on the wet part of the track, but somehow John Berry managed to get it done, and Matthew Addy's trying to get past David Price now as well. And we do still have bronze category drivers on wet tyres out there. Sykes in third place, hunting down Josh Downing. You can see Josh Downing's trying to find the wet line, but there isn't one. He has to go completely offline if he wants the wet line. This is Matthew Addy right behind John Berry. They've got gold category drivers in amongst them. Fastest lap still being put in. Ben McCluskey's got the fastest lap of the race in gold category. And this is silvers, the top three. Alan McCain's not too far behind as well, in fourth place. Into the pits go other drivers still on wet tyres. Matthew Addy, he's going to take a look. He's going to have to go onto the wet line. You can see John Berry's forcing him to stay on that wet line. And that is not good for these dry tyres. And that means that happens. Oh, somehow John Berry has kept it in a straight line. But it completely upsets everything here. As gold drivers and silver drivers pass by Matthew Addy and John Berry. And into the lead of the silvers goes Neil Forbes as a result of that. But it was Matthew Addy who had to get on the brakes on the wet line, couldn't get it slowed down, and made contact with John Berry. That's what's lost in those positions. Now Neil Forbes is in the lead of this race. They're still side by side though between John Berry and Matthew Addy. Neil Forbes losing a position to Archie Bennett now, and this is Alan McCain responding. He's now in second place, right behind the leader of this race. While this is happening, we've also got the bronze category unfolding. Josh Downing is losing time hand over fist here, so is Andrew Allen, and Mark Sykes might be on his way to leading this race. The bronze category drivers are just not pitting yet. Them being Andrew Allen and Josh Downing, Wesley Lewin and Sammy Arab are still on the wet tyres as well. While there's drivers in gold category on dry tyres setting 2 minutes 6 lap times. But back to this. Oh no, that's David Price all over the road there, right in front of the silver category drivers. Has managed to keep it out of the wall and out of trouble there. But this is super close for the silver category. Now on a dry-ing track. What I thought when we gave to that shot, I thought it was raining. It was actually the catch fence just kind of pixelating for me. Never mind. Yeah, look at that dry line in the middle of the straight here. It's widening. But we saw on the previous lap, John Berry just isolating Matthew Addy out there. He wasn't able to get it back onto the dry line. And that's the risk you run with overtaking on a track in conditions like this right now. But Neil Forbes is responding a little bit. He's pulled away a little bit from Alan McCain here. Not certainly a huge amount. Look at this. One of the cars pulling over to the side. That is Archie Bennett ahead. Trying to look around, getting past, I think. That was Andy Rooney. Back marker just getting out of the way. Whoa, as Alan McCain chucks it to the inside of the back marker. That's not Andy Rooney. Do apologise. Couldn't quite tell who that driver was actually. It was Kurt Van Honecker, do excuse me, was getting out of the way of them just then. And made hard work of it, but I suppose us drivers not wanting to go out onto the wet line. Andrew Allen is in the pits and he's switching over to dry tyres now, but he will lose the lead of this race. He will drop to 5th. Meanwhile, Mark Sykes now takes the lead as a 12-second lead in front of a driver that's still on wet tyres out there and must be going slow. In fact, Josh Downing's last lap was a 2-minute 15, while all the drivers around are doing 2-minute 8s, 9s and 7s. Jonas Andersson on that last lap was 7 seconds quicker. He has absolutely got to get off these wet tyres. He's already losing a lot of time. But we'll see what happens at the end of this lap. Still close in the silver category. Fastest lap of the race from Nigel Stock in 5th place. The track is just getting quicker and quicker as it gets drier and drier. Let's just check in with Stefan Vessels. He's trying to make his way back through the pack. 6th place, and he's gaining on Jesse Payne Wilkins up ahead, who's in 5th place. Jesse Payne Wilkins, previous gold category 3rd place in the championship. That was back in season 5. And that was when Jesse's teammate Karol Pochalko won the championship. Representing Full Tilt. Since then, the championships have eluded Full Tilt, but I get the feeling they might be fighting for some this season. Josh Downing is now in the pits, getting the wets off finally. Will rejoin the track. Drops to 4th. Should be able to get it out still in 4th. Might actually drop a place to Andrew Allen here, who's heading his way down the main straight now. But Josh Downing was looking good for him earlier on in the race. And all of these categories have just switched around so much tonight. But Mark Sykes leading this race in bronze category by 20 seconds. Neil Forbes is actually doing rather well here to stretch the gap to more than a second to Alan McCain behind. You can see him there just over the brow of the hill he comes. Fastest lap of the race though does come from Alan McCain. Only a little bit quicker than Forbes. But it's this top 3 and John Berry's actually responding here, going very quick now, and Matthew Addy has dropped off quite a bit. By the looks of it, this is what happened to Matthew Addy. Wasn't incredibly close at this point, but there you can see goes off the track and loses a little bit of time. Matthew Addy was the bit of a wet maestro. Oh no, look at this. This is Alan McCain facing the wrong way from 2nd place. Past goes Nigel Stock and Matthew Addy. Here is what's happened to Alan McCain from 2nd place. Oh, he just switches sideways. Might have caught a little bit of the wet line on the outside. But that's a lot of hard work undone for Alan McCain. It does promote his teammate, though, to 3rd place, Nigel Stock, who has got Matthew Addy not too far behind him. God, that is a very good sound on that Corvette. Never knew it made sounds like that. Okay, things have calmed down a little bit in silver category. I think now is a good opportunity to have a little bit of a rundown of our order as we're heading near the halfway point of this race. William Guthrie is our race leader. And it came from being on the right tyres at the right time. Fastest lap of the race at the moment, and a 10-second lead for William Guthrie right now. Oh, and there's a spin just ahead. And William Guthrie is sporting the James May livery yet again today. Did that at times last season. But just a couple of James May memes on the car. I remember that from last season, actually. Harry Langford, 2nd position. Championship leader heading into tonight. And with the way things are going right now, Harry Langford will still be championship leader heading out of tonight. He's 2nd place right now. 3rd place is the number 1 on his door, but the number 3 on the timing tower right now is Benji McCluskey. He's not too far behind Harry Langford, actually. He's really putting in a good shift now to try and contend for that 2nd place. Gaz Williams, good night so far. It's 4th position for him. In 5th place is Stefan Vessels, trying to make some ground back here. Jesse Payne Wilkins, 6th position with Matt Cheverton in 7th. Jason Raff in 8th place right now. Adam Wilson Weir, former bronze category champion, is in 9th place in the golds, with Gavin Gardner rounding off the top 10. Archie Bennett, who's led the majority of this race, is now 11th with picking the wrong tyres at the pit stops. He was the first driver to come in the pits, so I suppose a little bit of pressure falls on that. Now we move on to the silver category. Neil Forbes leads this race. John Berry is not too far behind, and John Berry is actually putting in some stellar lap times right now to contend with 1st place right now. But Neil Forbes never won a race in the Next Gen Series. In fact, this is his 1st season in the GT3s. So we'll see if he can tie up a silver category win. Nigel Stock in 3rd place for Crest Autosports. Oh, hang on a minute. I think it's already happened. It has already happened. John Berry has just moved his way past Neil Forbes. Let's just have another look, see what actually happened. Yeah, Neil Forbes goes off the track. We just missed that. And that's enough to allow John Berry by. New leader, or resumes the lead. It is John Berry of Type 2. Stock in third, as we mentioned, with Matthew Addy not too far behind in fourth. Matthew Addy, when it was raining, you would have had him down, has taken the lead and maybe walking away with it. That's what he was looking like in the silvers earlier on. Sits fourth right now, trying to get back into the podium spots. Alan McCain, fifth position, trying to recover a little bit. He's actually gaining on the top three again here. Or is that was Ben Altria just ahead, getting a little bit squirrely out of the corner. And that was Wesley Lewin just moving out of their way, but Ben Altria had a harder time getting by there. Quinton Klumper is in sixth position in the silver category, a long way behind the top five, but still a good position right now in the silvers. Rob Savage is seventh. Eighth position is Wojciech Kerp. Sean Shute in 9th and Stephen Fry in 10th. Bronze category, Mark Sykes leads this race by 26 seconds. An enormous lead at the moment. And lap times on par as of the last lap, with Jonas Anderson in second position, who definitely had a big opportunity of taking the lead, but did go on to the wrong tyres after the first load of pit stops. Davide Favo in third place, best position so far this season, and Andrew Allen is in fourth position, was leading this race, went onto the wrong tyres, but is now trying to recover the race. Likewise, Josh Downing led the race earlier on, is now fifth position. Wesley Lewin in sixth, is still on wet tyres by the looks of it, and still doing very slow lap times, and now comes into the pits. But Van Hernger will pass by for that sixth place. Stefan Vessels looked like was trying to pass Gaz Williams fourth place a moment ago, but has slipped back behind, and that last lap from Stefan Vessels is the fastest lap of the race, so currently holds the 2 bonus points. Mustang versus Mustang here. It definitely seems that the best cars off the field at the moment in GT3s are the Mercedes and the Mustangs, going off what you can see in the timing towers right now. It's largely down to how you can drive the cars at the end of the day, but you can't go against the numbers that we're seeing here, which that the Mercs and the Mustangs have. Fastest lap of the race from Jonas Anderson in the bronze category. He takes back those bonus points, but he needs to put in more of those big lap times if he wants to catch Mark Sykes. Now there will be another pit stop later on in the race that might throw up some surprises, especially if any full course yellows are hit during that period. We saw them at Interlagos in the feature race, but we've seen them in the first stops in this race. Still doing fastest laps of the race. We're in the 2-minute 4s now. Benjamin Kluski with the fastest lap last time by. Meanwhile, in the silver category, we've given it a lot of attention today. John Berry and Neil Forbes still running away with it, and fastest lap of the race from Neil Forbes is now a 2-minute 4 for him. Just trying to get around the back marker. I think that's Josh Downing they're trying to pass by. But 6 seconds down is Matthew Addy. Somehow Nigel Stock has slipped behind and back into 5th position. think this is how it's swapped around. Nope, that was from earlier on. I can't quite find how Nigel Stock has fallen behind into 5th place. But Matthew Addy now in 3rd place. 7 seconds down. Got to get his head down and try and focus on catching up with 1st and 2nd. But with Alan McCain behind, he's not... Well, will they work together? We will have to see. Alan McCain used to be an NXTGEN driver. Still is, technically. The affiliation between NXTGEN and Crest Autosport. Will Matthew Addy and Alan McCain work together to try and catch up with the top 2? Neil Forbes has had a moment. He's gone off the track. This looks like it's through the kink. Oh yeah, just see the puff of water go up from the tyres. It's enough to run off track and lose about 2 seconds. So it's all rather divvied up at the moment as we're about to tick over the halfway point in this race. Alan McCain just sets the fastest lap of the silver category. The times are tumbling down now. And the track will only get better and better if this race continues on. We are now over the halfway point. And we will likely see pit stops in 15 minutes or so. Going off what we had last season. Mark Sykes with the fastest lap of the race in the bronze category here. 36-second lead now. This is really looking good for Mark Sykes. Oh, as there's a car spinning in the background there. That was Sean Shoots. Sean Shoots struggling in the silver category in this race. And a little bit of an Austin Powers moment then, but he's just trying to make sure he doesn't reverse in front of the traffic, because we have seen that this season, unfortunately. It's a shame to hear Andy, who's out of this race already, and there's actually quite a few drivers who are out of this race so early on, unfortunately. And there was an incident at the start of the bronze category race. I would say we'd go back to it and have a look at it right now while there's not a lot going on, but it really wouldn't be a wise idea to do that. It would really put us out of sync with the live racing here. So there's something we could check later on if I manage to remember, and I likely won't. Did see an incident at the start of the bronze category race, and unfortunately that just puts a big downer on the race for some of these drivers with an incident earlier on. So again, just to apologise for the late start and the rather quick and rushed start preview to this show. We did have issues getting the live stream up earlier on. Facebook was fine, but getting it live on YouTube was a little bit of a hassle by looking, well, by the way it was. Oh, hang on a minute, we got a black flag for Neil Forbes. Now something has happened to Neil out there that's caused him to get a black flag. Might be too many instant points, but that will be a drive-through penalty for Neil, and that's going to put him a long way down the order, maybe down as far as 6th. Don't get race control messages here. But given that I can't see any instance that Neil Forbes was involved in, the only thing I can see is off track, so it might be too many instant points, and we'll have to serve a drive-through penalty. Now the instant point limit in these races, endurances, are 30. And then every 10 after that you get another drive-through penalty. So he must have hit the 30 mark. And to be honest, it is, whoa, easier done as something's happened here. That's Ben Oucher in the wall there. And there's a back marker with him, I think. That might be Josh Downing. Let's see what's happened to Ben Alcher and Josh Downing there. Not, they weren't fighting for track position or category position, of course. There's quite a gap between them. That's Josh Downing just easing off the throttle. Oh, and he loses it. He takes a little bit of the wet tarmac on the outside, and it spins him round into the wall, into Ben Alcher. And Josh Downing has a black flag to go with that. Wow. I suppose the stewards are probably looking at that and sort of saying you could have avoided that by just being away from the wet tarmac. There we go. Neil Forbes has served his drive-through penalty. He rejoins in front of Quinton Klumpert. Back out in 5th place, but is a long way behind the top 4 now. John Berry's out on his own by 10 seconds. Oh, and, want to avoid driving like that because those 10 seconds will disappear, John. But John Berry in the Silver Championship. He was fast past, if you want to say, to Silver category without a championship win in Bronze, but has always showed good pace in the Bronze category, and I believe had a 2nd place when Adam Wilson-Weir won the championship. This could be a first win in Silvers. Close between 2nd, 3rd and 4th in Silver category. The 2 Crest Autosport drivers, Alan McCain and Nigel Stock, chasing Matthew Addy in NXTGEN. And it is looking like a much drier track, but on the edge of the circuit, naturally, it's still very wet. The drivers are still going to be a little bit tentative on the curbs. You can just see small puddles on the side of the track still. Drivers got to avoid them. Nigel Stock with the fastest lap in this race of 4.6. Now Alan McCain and Matthew Addy will be going for the championship at this point. Against one another. 2 of them that can the better of one another might end up taking the lead of the championship. Is this? We will have to see. All very interesting, and these endurance rounds do help a huge amount these drivers in their championship bids. I just had to correct myself there actually. John Berry has won a race this season. He won the feature race at Mexico City 2 weeks ago. I was just thinking in my head a moment ago, actually, who did win that race back then? And it was John Berry. We have had 4 different winners in Silver category this season so far. We have also had 4 different winners in Gold category this season, but we might get a repeat winner for the first time in Gold and Silver actually. It's William Guthrie at the top, still leading the way, but Harry Langford is lapping quicker at the moment. He's the only driver on the track actually that set a 2-minute 3 lap time is Harry Langford. And championship leader right now, well, he's absolutely gunning for it, but we see a little bit of bump drafting here from Nigel Stock and Alan McCain. Nigel Stock trying to help out his teammate down the main straight here, not fight with him. They dropped off a little bit from Matthew Addy there. Here There is the race leader. Here is the championship leader. Bonus points to go with it as well. Now, each position in the endurance rounds, until you get down to 10th position, are separated by 5 points each. Not until you get to 10th position, until you get to, I think it's 7th position actually, and then it greatly reduces the gap between the positions. But yeah, 45 points for second place, 50 points for top spot. Then it'll be 47 for Harry Langford if things carry on as they are now, and he is still getting quicker and quicker. Mark Sykes in the bronze category is doing very well still. He has extended that lead out to 40 seconds to Jonas Andersen. Jonas Andersen's times are not looking bad, but in actual fact that last time from Jonas wasn't very good. It was a 2:19, so something's happened to him on that lap. It looks like an off track, I can just about see here. This has dropped in more time from Mark Sykes, more than 10 seconds extra. There it is. Yep, accelerating on the outside there. Does hit the wall. That won't be enough damage to slow the car, but extend the gap that he was trying to reduce. It has. Now Matthew Addy's in the pits. Okay, this is interesting. Will he have to get to the end? Now the first stops came along. 31 now. 12. You know what? It might actually be okay for Matthew Addy. We might actually be within that window now. We'll have to see. That does allow Alan McCain and Nigel Stock on the loose. They can get some good laps in now, while Matthew Addy has to warm up his tyres. William Guthrie continues on, flashing the lights to try and get back markers out of the way. The lucky James May livery's doing alright for him tonight. Got a little bit of a good view of it there. Very mixed up track right now where back markers are allowing through the gold category drivers. Was William Guthrie, the leader of the gold category, passing by, lapping the leader of the bronze category, Mark Sykes. But Mark Sykes in this race has gained 30 positions. He's 20th overall on in the race right now, and he started 50th overall. And don't forget that the bronze category grid started separately from the silvers and the gold, so this has been an exceptional performance from Mark Sykes tonight. Gavin Gardner's in the pit, so that pit window is now rolling around. Whilst John Berry sets a 2-minute 3-lap time in the lead of this race. Passes by Alan McCain. That lap was more than half a second slower. About 3/4 of a second slower in actual fact. John Berry is really putting in a big stint right now to try and get that silver victory and become the first repeat silver winner. The thing is, heading into tonight, John Berry is 10th in the championship as he missed last week at Interlagos. But when the drop rounds roll in, this might actually be good for John Berry. He might emerge, if tonight is anything to go by, as a potential championship contender. But it means that now he's had a drop round already, he can't afford a bad round. And that's the risk you have with missing around at the championship. As Harry Langford, championship leader, comes into the pits before what might be his final stop. We have seen, particularly with the endurances last season, drivers having to fuel save at times are limited on fuel capacity in this championship. Jonas Andersen has responded to that previous bad lap with a very good lap then. It was about 3.5 seconds quicker than Mark Sykes. But sets the fastest lap in bronze category, but 35 seconds to make up is a long gap. It will take a catastrophic mistake from Mark Sykes for that to slip away. Langford rejoins the track as John Berry passes by. Championship leader. He'll want to stay in front of Benji McCluskey. He knows what Benji McCluskey is like in these championships. Langford needs points. Finished second last season, but was for a long part of the season just on the back foot from Benji McCluskey. The start of the season didn't quite go well for Benji McCluskey, but he was able to secure it from round about round 3 onwards. Langford only actually managed 1 race win last season, but he is so consistent and so good at getting through the pack. Those points rewarded him with second in the championship last season, but this season it seems like Langford has just gone up another level. A new team as well. He's moved from Quatermass to Type 2. We're seeing a lot of the gold category drivers now in the pits. William Guthrie, the race leader. Benji McCluskey, the defending champion. Gaz Williams, Steph Vessels. Jesse Payne Wilkins able to carry on to save quite a bit of fuel. And this is the stop where going long is the more beneficial, because it means you're less time in the box, less time filling up the tank. Mark Sykes is in the pits. Okay. John Berry's in the pits. William Guthrie is back out on the track. He's relatively safe by the looks of it from Harry Langford. Alan McCain continues on. Him and Nigel Stock seem to have saved enough fuel as John Berry's in the pits. Alan McCain and Nigel Stock are able to carry on. That will help them. That means they can spend less time in the box. Neil Forbes has also saved enough fuel to continue on. No movement yet from John Berry. Now he's moving. Potentially not a change of tyres, and it didn't look like it was on the jacks at the start of the stop anyway. We'll see what happens in the silver category when they come back around. Guthrie, a bit of traffic around. But let's just keep an eye on bronze category as well. Mark Sykes is here. Now, I just had a thought, and the guys that wanted to stay out there on the wets a little bit longer, now it wouldn't have worked. It meant, yeah, I just wondered if they were trying to get further into the race so that they needed less fuel at this point in the race. I just wonder if that's what they were trying to do. Okay, so there's Alan McCain. Now, what's happened to Nigel Stock? Nigel Stock's in the pits. Oh no, what's happened to Nigel? Nigel Stock was in second place. We saw him pass by the pits. Oh no, it spins around. It's going to go into the tyres as well. Oh no. And I think actually he's gone out of the track boundaries at that point. And they sent him back to the pits, and it was looking like such a good race as well for Nigel Stock. Alan McCain's in the pits, and so is Neil Forbes. John Berry is going to be keeping a very merry eye on his relative to see where they are. He's a distance away, a fair distance away from Matthew Addy. Shevington and Archie Bennett are still out there, and they're still leading the gold category. Here goes John Berry. There is Alan McCain on his way to pit exit, but John Berry is going to pass by, and he does retake the lead of the race. Alan McCain is not yet at pit exit. Now he is. And Matthew Addy is rapidly approaching on warm tyres. But I think Alan McCain is going to have a little bit of enough of a gap. But Matthew Addy is into the top 3. Neil Forbes into 4th as he exits the pits. Oh, straight away a spin for Neil Forbes, actually. Cold tyres have got the better there. And that will drop him to 5th place. Gold category, Matt Shevington pits from the lead. It was a net lead, but Archie Bennett stays out there now. Archie Bennett will have a few more laps. But I tell you what Archie Bennett will be hoping for is a full course yellow. Because if he can get a full course yellow, that might help, and he can make a stop on the full course yellow and lose less time. That might hand the race back to Bennett. Whoa, this is a car very slow in the middle of the track there, and there's a car off on the side there, and we're down to crawling speed. We've got another caution. I think that was Mike Reedner, who was putting on a bit of a show for us on the side then. Now we do have a full course caution, and we were just talking about it, but Archie Bennett is not on the right section of the track where that's be beneficial for him. Phil McDougall is heading out of the pits. That means he's going to lose a lot less positions. Oh, he's stopping in his box now. And overshot it a little bit, actually. But Archie Bennett would have wanted this about half a lap later. There we go, we're racing again. And there were a couple of incidents on the track that caused that. Drivers going slow on the side. And then an incident happened after, by the looks of it. So Archie Bennett did not get the luck that he needed. His last stop, if we look at it here, was lap 16. That was only about 3 laps later than William Guthrie. He did have to go back into the pits to get wets on. To get dry tyres on, excuse me. Because he did stay on the wet tyres when everyone else went to dries. And now Bennett comes into the pits. This is going to hand the lead back over to William Guthrie. I think he'll breathe a little sigh of relief in that the full course yellow hasn't screwed him over a little bit here. Harry Langford will also pass by to retake 2nd position, and likewise with Ben McCluskey 3rd. It's going to be interesting to see when we come back. We've got a week off next week, but when we come back after next week, it will be Motorland Aragon, the outer circuit, which means we miss out a lot of the Mickey Mouse chicanes that are on that circuit. It is a very fast track, is the outer layout. But it'd be interesting to see when we come back how things are going to look in the championship for that moment. How drivers tend to react. We've got the double header at Nürburgring after round 4 as well. 5 and 6 is both hosted at the Eifel region in West Germany. Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit for round 5 and the Nordschleife for the second endurance round of the championship. So that will be the last of the scheduled pit stops, unless we get any rain or anything like that to come along. It's looking a little bit cloudy around Road America right now, but majority blue sky or clear sky and no threat of rain at the moment. 10-second lead for William Guthrie in gold, as well as John Berry in silver. At the moment, Andrew Allen is at the front of the bronze category, but that's because he stayed out on wet tyres a lot longer than the rest. But what Andrew Allen will be hoping for is another four-course yellow, and at the right time, the right place when he's on heading round towards pit lane, because then he can get a quick, cheap pit stop. Sykes in second place, favourite to win this race right now. A 20-second lead over Jonas Andersson. Has been superb tonight, has Mark. Contender for driver of the day, in my opinion. Plus, he saved the day on the live stream. Fixing it when we were trying to... Well, fixing YouTube. He fixed YouTube in general. What a race this has been for him, but he'll just be hoping that Andrew Allen doesn't get a cheap pit stop, which has been I was going to say a plague of this championship so far. It's not really a plague, it's just something that's happened in this championship with the implementation of live race control, four-course yellows, safety cars, if ever such a thing was needed. Now, it must be mentioned that silver category driver John Berry has actually gained a huge amount of positions in this race. 19 places to get to where he is right now in the overall standings, which is 12th. He's first in category right now, so it's been a big moving race for him. The biggest mover off the field has been Mark Sykes in the bronze category, up 24 places overall to get to 26th right now, and I think there may be more positions to come, with more pit stops rolling around soon. Other big movers have been Alan McCain and Matthew Addy in the silver category. Of course, we have the usual suspects. The top three have each moved up 11 places, Guthrie and 11 for McCluskey, whilst Langford has moved up 13, being that he started further back in the gold pack as his championship leader. Andrew Allen currently has 21 places gained, but is yet to make another pit stop, and that might well drop him down to third place in category. But considering what happened to Andrew Allen and Jonas Andersson earlier on in the race, a podium apiece for them is still rather good. Jonas Andersson yet to win a race in the bronze category, so is Andrew Allen. The race wins this season have gone to Josh Downing, Lewis Mason, and Gabriel Papaconstantino, who's not racing tonight, unfortunately. We'll lose the lead in the championship. We'll go to a different name. That name likely to be either Andrew Allen or Josh Downing, depending on where they finish. Based on Josh Downing being in 5th place, it could go to Andrew Allen. It could be Andrew Allen taking the lead at the championship. Or even Jonas Andersson, actually. It's looking very, very exciting thus far in the bronze category championship. It usually is very exciting in the bronze category championship. Only 2 seasons ago we had a 6-way fight going into the final round of the championship in the bronze category, of which it was won by Elwyn Sykes. Last season we had a battle to the final championship, final round of the championship. So bronze category always delivers. Now, Ben McCluskey's last lap was a 2:03, and look at that, Langford's was a 2:05. So Langford has had something happened. It might have been passing by lap traffic, but it has caused Ben McCluskey to catch up with the championship leader. Ben McCluskey, who's got the number 1 on his door, will be very conscious that Langford ahead has got the advantage in the championship at the moment, and a pass for this second position will be crucial for Ben McCluskey. He is the master of picking up points here, there and everywhere. He's a little bit like Andy Prio in that Andy Prio will focus on points rather than just out-and-out performances, as we see Kurt Van Honecker take a spin there and didn't collect Langford or McCluskey while he was going for that spin, which is good to see. But this is a key battle on track right now. That could be a fairly pivotal moment in the championship later on down the line. We have got half an hour left of this race. We're into the final quarter. Langford got the back marker ahead, the 079 car. Just meant that Langford couldn't quite floor it at the corner. That was Wesley Lewin, and now Wesley Lewin has got Benji McCluskey making his way around him. The rules of this championship are, if you get the blue flags, you do have to let the lead lap car through. The rules of the blue flag do differ from league to league, from motorsport to motorsport, from country to country sometimes as well. It's just down to the leagues to define how they want the blue flags to be interpreted, let's just say. Now, Andrew Allen, bronze category, is now in the pits. So this means Mark Sykes is going to retake the lead of the race. He's going to be a little bit relieved that a four-course yellow hasn't hampered his progress in this race. But Jonas Andersson, he has gained a little bit on Mark Sykes recently. And he has made his way by Andrew Allen. So at the moment it's looking very likely. And with that bonus, the bonus points to go with it. It's sideways actually. He's gone into the wall, Jonas Andersson. He's able to carry on. And he has not lost any positions in category, but he's given that front end of the car a big smack against the wall with half an hour left in this race. That is big news for the bronze category, and I was just about to say, with him taking back second place in the race, that would give him the as it stands championship lead. We'll have to see what happens. Just have a little listen to the engine. Okay, sounds okay. Sometimes it can sound a bit skewiff when an incident like that happens. I'm just trying to see if the front right wheel is buckled a little bit, because it was an almighty whack against the wall. I mean, this is music to the ears of Mark Sykes, who, out in front, has it a little bit even easier now. Magnus Andersson. We'll see how he will get on if he does have to come into the pits. Can he afford to come in the pits and take a fast repair at this point? It will drop him to third. He should be able to. If he did go into the pits now, he would be able to get back out in third place. But does he want to continue on and get second? But this is the battle for second place. Langford versus McCluskey. Two, you could say, main championship protagonists. With Guthrie at the top, he'll take more points back from these two. And Guthrie won the sprint race at Interlagos. Did not have such a good feature race, unfortunately. It was enough to get joint top score of the last round at Interlagos, Langford being the other person to get top. But last time out was Interlagos was not Ben McCluskey's best round. Tonight he'll want a second place. Surely he will. Now, regardless of what happens, I'm pretty sure regardless of what happens between these two, I think Langford will still come out as championship leader after tonight, but it will be a very, very small gap. It will all close up between them all. If McCluskey gets in front, that is. My calculations are correct. Langford will lead the championship by 1 point from William Guthrie as it stands. As it stands, it is a large gap, but if McCluskey did get in front into second place, it would be a much closer gap of either 1 or 3 points, depending on who gets the fastest lap, because that is changing between these drivers. And there is a driver blinking in and out of existence ahead there that will be putting off Langford if he lets that driver know. I think it's Rob Savage. Makes his way past. It is. Oh no, right in front of Benjamin McCluskey and into the back of Langford. There we go, there's the position swap. Oh my word, just couldn't make it up, could you? And you can see Rob Savage just lost it on the wet stuff there, and that's actually, I think, damaged Ben McCluskey's front a little bit. And it might have damaged the back of Langford's car a little bit unless it was registered as netcode. Let's just take another look at that. So there goes Rob Savage out of the way. And look at that. He's already driving along the wet part of the track. And there, as he's braking, he's still on the wet track. And into the back of him goes Ben McCluskey. But then, I know this is not the conventional camera shot, but it's sim racing, we can do it. It doesn't look like there's any damage on the back of Langford's car. But either way, it does swap the positions. McCluskey is now ahead. He does have a little bit of damage on the front of that car he's going to worry about, potentially. But you know what? He won't be able to see it. He'll just have a feel of the car, see how it's handling through the corners now. See if it's going to affect him both in straight line speed and corner grip. But that has swapped things around. Langford drops to third place. You know what? We have seen black flags issue to drivers where they've caused an incident like that. Whether it's been through steward admission, or race control admission, should we say, or if it was through incident points. That's the only thing that's the only asterisk to earlier on where we saw that. Rob Savage is in the pits right now. The damage on the car meant he might have to have towed back to the pits. That just goes to show that, you know, the racing line is drying out, staying close to the side of the road. You are merely trying to get out the way of these lead lap drivers. So it is a little bit of a catch-22. Where do you put your car? It is a fairly narrow track anyway. If we were racing somewhere like Le Mans or Daytona even, it probably would have been a bit different. Maybe. But because it's wet on the side of the road still, it's making it difficult. But okay, 20 minutes left in this race. Fastest lap holders at the moment are Ben McCluskey in the gold category. He holds the 2 bonus points, and this, you know what we said at the start, towards the start of this race, other drivers like Guthrie and Langford are just smashing their way, well, not literally smashing their way, but smashing it and getting to the front, while McCluskey takes his time. He, in the end, is the one in second place right now. And actually, the gold category fastest lap has just gone to another driver. It's just gone to Ben Altria. He's down in 15th at the moment. It was looking good earlier on, but things have happened to him in this race, which has dropped him down the order. A bit of a shame. He has looked real quick, and he has been quick. Fastest lap holder right now. Makes a move on Wojciech Kurt. John Berry has had to work really hard for it tonight, let's be honest. It wasn't looking so good earlier on, and in fact, when Zara McGuinness was his teammate, was leading the race, pretty much let through John Berry and held up the pack, which meant that John Berry's in the lead for quite a stint of the race. But when it's dried up, John Berry has just come alive. You'll see this as quite a successful race. Now back to the bronze category. Now things have closed up time-wise between Mark Sykes and Jonas Anderson. So Mark Sykes struggling a bit now by the looks of it. Jonas Anderson is closing in. And with a lot of damage on the car, and with that spin and hit against the wall we did see just a moment ago, Mark Sykes has lost quite a bit of time. So we'll see what happens. Jonas Anderson can yet still win this race. Got a lot of lap traffic to pass by. Mark Sykes is 3 seconds up the road. Sykes' last lap was 2 seconds slower than Jonas Anderson. Let's see what this lap is. And look at the front end. It's crunched up on Jonas Anderson's car. That's not stopping him though. He's still going for it. Jonas Anderson has just disposed of one. Oh, gotta be careful on the outside there, heading into that corner. Jonas Anderson might be getting a little bit desperate now. Knows the lead in the bronze category is in sight. There's a CSA car to the left. I think it's Davide Favo. It is, and has passed by. 2.3 between them. The time is coming down. The last laps then 5 seconds slower was Mark Sykes. Mark Sykes might be struggling with damage, might be struggling with traffic, might be struggling with fuel saving, could be any of those. But with 16 minutes left in this race, it's not looking good for Mark Sykes, and it's now below 2 seconds between them on the timing tower. Just tipped below that on the relative to our right. Mark Sykes winning would be a very popular win in the league. He is Mr. Next Gen himself, has been running it for as long as I've known Next Gen anyway. But Jonas Andersson has not yet won a race in the bronze category this season or ever in the Next Gen Championship. He is in a debut season. Jonas will not be the fourth new winner of bronze category if he can get it done. Likewise if Mark can get it done. Mark Sykes has put it back to over 2 seconds. Might have responded with a bit of lap traffic out of the way now. Let's see these laps between the two. 2 minutes 5 from Mark Sykes is a good lap, but a 2 minutes 4 from Jonas Andersson is lapping quicker. Langford and McCluskey still close to one another at the top of goal category. We've also got Gaz Williams up against Matthew Cheverton. In the silvers, John Berry has just taken back fastest lap of the race. It did previously go to Neil Forbes. No, excuse me, it was Wojciech Kurt previously. And it does seem that Jonas Andersson, despite the front end hit he had a few laps ago heading out of turn 1, it hasn't affected the grip on the car too much. And they are, them being Jonas Andersson and Andrew Allen, are a long way clear. And that on the side of the road, I think, was Fabian Kozielek. It was a little bit of a heart-in-mouth moment for Jonas Andersson. Yes, they're a long way clear, 50 seconds clear of Andrew Allen. Do remember early on had to take an additional pit stop. He stayed on wet tyres at the stop when everyone went over to slicks. Josh Downing did similar, he's in 4th right now. Mark Sykes seems to have responded on this lap. The time hasn't come down between the two of them. That last lap was Mark Sykes' fastest lap of the race. Jonas Andersson still slightly quicker. But we have got Gaz Williams and Matthew Cheverton fighting it out. This is for 5th place. A top 5 is a lot of points in this championship. Gaz Williams is trying to get into that top 5. The only Aston Martin in the field, he says. Yep, it is. It is Matthew Cheverton. Which is a bit of a shame because it's one of the most recent releases. But that Mustang is a big old beast. Let's see if this is the moment for Gaz Williams to take 5th place. It'd be a strong result for Gaz. No move yet from the host of this championship. These are two giants of this championship. Matthew Cheverton, who's been a part of this championship for a long time, has been a multiple race winner in the NXTCC as well. Gaz Williams has run this championship since season 1. Is it a move? No, it's not. And And there's a lot more of a wider dry line now on this track, especially heading into turn 1. We saw Matthew Addy struggle with that earlier on in the race. Now just checking back with that bronze category, you can see the times have popped out there. Mark Sykes on that last lap was 0.6 quicker than Jonas Andersen, and he's opened up that gap, and in fact he's opening a little bit more still. So Mark Sykes is responding. Oh, and look at this from Gaz Williams. Oh no, Matthew Cheverton shuts the door. Cool and calm. Is Gaz going to be 5th is in sight? Differing lines through carousel then between the two of them. Matthew Cheverton hugging the apex a little bit more around carousel, whereas Gaz Williams taking a wider entry line, which will initially lose time, but a straight lined exit means he can blast his way down Kettle Bottoms here and into Canada Corner. He was right on the rear of Cheverton, but not enough to make a late diving move. Now Josh Downing is in the pits again in bronze category in 4th place. Could lose him 4th place. Stick with this battle. Josh Downing now on pit exit, so might be safe in 4th place here. Might have just taken a splash and dash. We do see that. And when the full course cautions come along, when you do pit under them, it does mess with the average of your fuel delta in the black box on iRacing. Now, a lot of these drivers use different tools to calculate their fuel. Some will use the in-game tools on iRacing, some will use Race Labs, some will use Crew Chief, some will use other tools. But as we can see here, side by side between Gaz Williams and Matt Cheverton heading into turn number 3. But Cheverton holds it. Oh, Gaz Williams out of shape on acceleration. Not to be. But so far, good racing between the two of them. Mark Sykes has opened up that gap to 3 seconds now. He was quicker on that last lap by half a second. From Jonas Andersen, has responded in these last few laps, has responded well. And in fact, Mark Sykes and Jonas Andersen have lapped all except Andrew Allen in this race. That's how well they've driven in this race. We haven't picked on silver category in a while, but there are quite sizable gaps between all of these drivers. John Berry now has a 12-second gap to Alan McCain. Alan McCain won't mind that so much, because after tonight, Alan McCain might well take control of the championship with Jeffrey Kruger not racing tonight. He was the championship leader heading into tonight. Alan McCain might take control of the championship lead, with Matthew Addy not too far behind. And what I was trying to say earlier, but I was mincing my maths and mincing my words a little bit, but Ben McCluskey, as that was one of the Type 2 cars off on the side there. But yeah, Ben McCluskey, the way things are right now, will close up to Harry Langford, but not pass in the championship. The way things are right now, Langford will still lead the championship by approximately 3 points from William Guthrie. Brandon Vincent Squibb, who holds the fastest lap in the gold category right now. He's down in 12th right now, but a lot of drivers still going very, very quick out there. Matthew Addy is on pit road, which means this is a splash and dash, although there is a front end missing on that car. This might be a fast repair. Let's just check. Yes, it is. But is it some fuel taken on as well? We'll leave the box soon. Yep, it is a splash and dash as well. Let's just see if this is how the front end has gone amiss on that car. No, it is earlier on than that. It's happened to Matthew Addy. Nothing's come up my timing screen for it, so somehow that front bumper has gone missing for Matthew Addy, but because he had to take on extra fuel, I thought why not, and taking on the fast repair as well while it's there. But that drops into 5th, and that does mean that Alan McCain will get a leg up in the championship. Maybe helped more. Meanwhile, Sheraton and Gaz Williams side by side again, and Matthew Addy rejoins right ahead of these two. He's going to get out of the way, but look at that, Matthew Sheraton threads the eye of the needle there to get it between the two. They break going into turn 3. Gaz Williams tries to take a late exit, but no, Matthew Sheraton covers it off very quickly. Sheraton is hanging on to this 5th place really, really well. But it's fair racing between the two of them by the looks of it, and fair play to Matthew Addy getting out of the way of these two, risking running along the edge of the track on the still wet part of the track. Now we head into the final 4 minutes of this race. We'll have around about 2 laps to go in this race. Guthrie just continuing to flash lights, and we haven't really talked about him much in this race, but what William Guthrie is so good at doing is the start of the race, getting through the pack quickly and getting to the front very soon on. And that's what's happened here. He's got himself to the front. With the mix-up in tyre strategy for Archie Bennett, it's helped out Guthrie here, but he's a long way clear of his rivals, and it's been another good showing from William Guthrie. He'll be a repeat winner in the gold category after tonight. He won the sprint race at Interlagos and will put himself much closer to top spot in the championship after tonight. John Berry did miss last time at Interlagos, but with this victory tonight, it'll definitely put him in as a championship contender once drop rounds are implemented. Normally they are after the halfway point, and they continue to refresh after that. We won't know until then, but so far it's been a very good season for John Berry, with a win in the feature race at Mexico City and a win tonight in this endurance round. It has been very good showing in silvers for John Berry, who's come up from bronze last season. A part-time campaign, it must be said, but when he was there, he was contending for wins. And certainly has responded in the last few laps. It wasn't looking so good about 10 minutes ago, but Mark Sykes has responded and it's extended the gap to Jonas Andersson. Mark Sykes might be about to come through with a bronze category win. Jonas Andersson, I think he will take lead of the championship after tonight, and I'm pretty sure the points get updated immediately after the race, which is an amazing feature. It means we can bring you the live championship update after the race. And we have just had our first 2-minute 2 lap time of the race. In fact, one has just been set by someone else, but Brandon Vincent Squibb was the first to set a 2-minute 2 lap time. But now Ben Oucher has just set one, a 2-minute 2.90, 300ths quicker than Brandon Vincent Squibb. Ben Oucher only scoring one measly point, I think, at the moment with his position right now. And with that, we'll get an extra 2 points. But that doesn't steer away from the driver who's going to be taking 450 tonight. Gold category, and that's William Guthrie. Now, just diverting our attention to silver category. The time has dropped between John Berry and Alan McCain to 1.5 seconds. There's really no off tracks from John Berry. He might have struggled with traffic, he might be struggling with fuel saving. Hold on a minute. William Guthrie will be on his final lap. He's changing up gears quickly. I think John Berry's trying to fuel save. Doesn't go into the pits, but the white flag's going to wave. Up to the gantry. Yep, the white flag was waving. We just got a glimpse of it there. But towards the end of the race now is William Guthrie as he tries to pass by Jack Pittas there. But Jack Pittas will probably want to finish on the lead lap. William Guthrie, he is the one that wins many races. There's a spin in the background, but not spinning. Crossing the line as race winner is William Guthrie. Another race win this season for Full Tilt and William Guthrie in the special James May livery, I might add. Benji McCluskey will take the win in this race. The second place in this race, do excuse me. And Harry Langford will continue to lead the championship with third. I believe Mark Sykes will be next through of the leaders in each category. Andrew Allen has already crossed the line in bronze category to finish third position in this race. That is locked and sealed. But Mark Sykes, what hard work he's had to do in this race, even before the race, helping us get YouTube fixed. Mark Sykes is going to be the winner of the bronze category at Road America today. If he can get it through the final corner, he tiptoes his way through that final corner, making sure he doesn't hit any of the wet tarmac on the edge. Sykes wins in bronze category at Road America. And Jonas Anderson, second place, and may well take the lead of the championship after tonight. Back to the silver category, and John Berry is struggling here. The time gap has dropped between him and Alan McCain, but I think he's done enough. I think he has. He will cross the line by half a second ahead, but it doesn't matter. It's a race win for John Berry, his second of the season in silvers, and Alan McCain will finish in second place, and I'm pretty sure with that we'll take the championship lead. Wow, what an interesting race. Quite dramatic, actually. Sometimes the endurance races can be a little bit bland, can be a little bit not much going on, but with the full course yellows, with the wet weather at the start, with the changing conditions on the track, it made that all the more interesting. And you know what? At the start of that race, would you have had those three down as your winners? It would have been very difficult at the bookies, wouldn't it, for tonight's race, actually. But your race winners are William Guthrie in the gold, John Berry in the silver, Mark Sykes in the bronze. Hopefully we'll get to chat to our race winners. Some of them are a little bit shy at times, but we are going to chat to two of our race winners. It's great to see. Now, before we chat to them, we will go back to the start of this race, but we are going to quickly look at the race results before we head on to any championship standings or anything like that. So the race results will start with the gold category. First of all, William Guthrie is our race winner from Benji McCluskey in second position and Harry Langford rounding off the top three. Stefan Vessel's a quiet race for him actually in fourth position, but still a good result for him. Fifth position, Matthew Cheverton, who managed to cover off Gaz Williams to the end. Archie Bennett, who led the majority at the start of the race, was masterclass in the wet at the start, but it's seventh in the end by picking the wrong tyres after the first pit stop. Jesse Payne Wilkins in 8th position with Phil McDougall in 9th. Jason Raff rounding off the top 10. A good result for Jason. Gavin Gardner, 11th position. From Brandon Vincent Squibb in 12th. Adam Wilson-Weir in 13th position from Jack Pittas in 14th. And rounding off the points finishers was Ben Oucher. George Plaster in 16th. 17th, David Price, and Kieran Davidson, non-finisher. Meanwhile, silver category. John Berry takes the win in that by half a second. Might have been fuel saving at the end, was John Berry. We'll find out a little bit later on. But Alan McCain is second position from Neil Forbes. A good race for him as well in third position. His best result in Next Gen so far. Quinton Klumper, also a very good result, fourth place, his best result in his second round of the championship. Matthew Addy had to come in for a late stop for a splash and dash. It's fifth for him, but still a good race for him. Paul Williams, who got second last time out at Interlagos, is sixth tonight, with Wojciech Kerp in seventh position. Zara McGuinness, led at the start of the race, is eighth. Nigel Stock, who had the instant a few moments ago, was ninth. Stein Vaten rounds off the top 10. Sean Shute, 11th, from Rob Savage in 12th. A non-finisher by the looks of it for Mark Baker, and non-finishers also were Stephen Fry and Elwyn Sykes. Bronze category next, and Mark Sykes takes the win in bronze category. Jonas Anderson, 3 seconds behind in second position and may take the lead in the championship. And then third place was Andrew Allen. Josh Downing in fourth position, led some of the race at the start. Kurt Van Honecker 5th. Davide Favo in 6th position with Jochen Seeger in 7th position with Wesley Lewin in 8th. Mike Reed in 9th and Fabian Kozielek in 10th. Jaroslav Pataluk in 11th position followed by Matt Gatter. And I think non-finishers were Sammy Araba, Lewis Mason, Leslie Brazil, Andy Rooney and Joseph Wright. And we do have an update to the points. So, without further ado, let's take a look at them. So, okay, it's not quite what I thought. Because I do believe the points may have changed for the endurance rounds by the looks of it. Potentially? Okay. We'll go with what it says at the moment. William Guthrie leads the championship with the win in tonight's round. He leads by 2 points from Harry Langford in second position. Ben McCluskey, third position right now. He is 6 points off of top spot. Stefan Vessels in fourth and Gaz Williams is up to 5th place. Silver category next. Alan McCain takes the lead of the championship by 9 points from Jonathan Berry, who won tonight's race. Matthew Addy is third position, with Paul Williams in 4th and Wojciech Kerp rounding off the top 5. Bronze category, Jonas Anderson, as I did predict correctly, leads the championship now, but only by 1 point from Josh Downing in second position and Andrew Allen in third position. Only 4 points separating the top 3 in bronze category. Gabriel Papaconstantino does not score any points tonight as he did not take part, and Jochen Seeger is 5th position. So that's the championship standings as we head out of tonight. Remains to be seen if those are absolutely correct, but we'll see. Now we're going to go back to the start of the race, and we are going to chat to our gold category winner. First time in the comms booth this season. Joining us back here this season, William Guthrie, gold category winner tonight. First of all, Will, how are you feeling after that long and very dramatic race, actually?
Too bad. The last hour of that race, I was sort of able to chill out. I was saving fuel. I was kind of just zoned out, talking with Jesse in bed. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I just knew I needed it. It was the last couple stints, well, the last 2 stints, that was just fuel saving. So you were kind of just zoned out. The best way to drive. save a bit of fuel, no need to push. I started pushing towards the end when I realised I'd saved enough fuel, but like it was fairly chill, to be honest with you.
How tight were we on fuel then after that final stop then?
Well, I managed to work out the fuel to a T. My calculator was bouncing back towards between going a lap longer and a lap short. In the end, it went a lap short, which was handy. So I finished with like 1.2 litres. So I had the fuel bang on because I can work my fuel out in the fly. I use a manual fuel calculator, and I can see and I can work my fuel out, and just experience. I know what to do with the fuel.
Interesting stuff indeed. So how were things at the start of the race in the wet weather there? It was very tricky as it transitioned throughout the first stops, but how did you find that at the start of the race?
It was very eventful, yeah. The whoever was ahead of me in my line didn't really get a good start or get a good launch, so I kind of was pretty much pushing him up the straight, and in the process of not trying to spin him round, I moved over a bit. So I obviously didn't hit him, and I got a bit of front end damage. So I drove the first stint with a bit of front end damage. I don't think it was affecting me too much, but once we got through the first sort of wee bit of the race, it was fine. Like, it was slippy, but as long as you didn't overdrive the car and you used your brain and sort of knew where the lines and stuff were, it was fairly easy. And you just had to take her easy and chill and sort of rail back on your inputs and just take it easy and save fuel. And it was only the first stint, and the second stint pretty much we'll put dries on, and it was pretty much smooth sailing from there. You had to be careful in the first couple of laps, but it was fairly smooth sailing. It wasn't too bad. I've driven in a lot worse rain. I've driven in red rain. That's not easy.
Yes, it's not. I can vouch for that as well. But yeah, looking good in the championship as well at this point, Will. How are you feeling about your championship so far, round 3 today?
Well, I'm obviously really happy to win. I'm happy to win last week as well. I think I had the pace to win the feature race as well last week at Brazil, but I got to drive through. But I still think I could have went on to have won if I didn't have the drive through. Mexico was a complete disaster. I don't know if anybody uses Huizenfeld sprint pedals, but I use them, and they have that live control software to swap between profiles, and I have 2 different brake profiles for Le Mans Ultimate and iRacing. And me being a complete idiot, completely forgot to change it over back to iRacing, so I was driving out at Mexico with a completely wrong brake pedal profile, wondering why the car felt terrible. So I've deleted that now because I haven't played it in a while, and I don't want to risk it again, changing profile without knowing.
So,
but, yeah.
fun fact, Will, I also have Huizenfeld sprints, and I did the same once, but I put my rally profile on iRacing and vice versa once. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's not nice. I was doing practice. I'd actually run another race last week, or no, 2 weeks ago in another league with a wrong brake pedal, and I got a big penalty because I went straight on at turn 1 and hit someone. And I was looking back at the telemetry, and I was like, I've hit 100% brakes far too quickly, and I went into Huizenfeld's software and was like, I'm on the wrong profile. I'm on my LMU profile, which has a slightly lower brake peak pressure, because you can get away with using more of the brakes in LMU than you can on iRacing, which would explain why I hit 100% in a flash rather than with my normal profile. I wouldn't be anywhere near it.
Dear me. Well, thankfully that didn't happen tonight, but a win did come for you tonight. Now we're back to the sprint and feature race formats next week. We're off to Motorland Aragon, which is a little bit of a Marmite track, slightly overlooked track at times, but how are you feeling heading into that next week? I think the last time we raced there, you were racing in the prototypes.
Yeah, I was in the Acura. In fact, fun fact, that was the last race, because Benji told me the other day, there's the last race I had a poster. I was on the poster as well. But no, I like Aragon. Me and Adam ran a couple laps around it a while back, because I think he had another league there, and obviously the league I had 2 weeks ago where I had the wrong brake pedal profile was also at Aragon actually as well. I like the track. I think turn 1 is definitely my favourite corner, because there's that wee sort of bump on the apex of the corner, and it's really satisfying when you get it right. But I think it'll be a good round. I don't know what layout it is of Aragon. If we're using the outer layout, it'll be good. It's essentially just like a mini Daytona. It's great.
Yeah, it is that layout, and we did run that in the prototypes, and it is good. It should be good. So looking forward to it. Right, lastly, Will, is there anybody on the live stream who you want to say hi and thanks to?
Yeah, just again the full tilt lads and some of the Type 2 guys as well, because I've ran with them. Well, I say I run. Me and Ben talk to them quite a bit. They're a chill bunch. So yeah, thanks to all of them, because yeah, they're just a friendly bunch, nice to hang out with.
And bonus question: when are we going to see the James May livery back?
I mean, I can run it the rest of the season. I spent too long making that the other week because I was bored. I thought I'm going to make a James May livery because I think I remember running it the first round of prototypes for a laugh, and I thought I'll sod it. I was going to run it last week, but I was on the what do you call it, the poster thing. So I thought, nah, I'll not run it at Brazil. So I thought I'll run it. I'll debut it at Road America, and I think I've done quite well. The James May livery look.
Maybe it's the endurance livery.
Yes, that's my endurance livery. It's with the Sainsbury's cheese and stuff on it as well.
Exactly, perfect. I'm trying to help out your full tilt guys because they spent a lot of time into the actual livery for your car, so I figured you'd want to use that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yep. Well done on a brilliant win tonight. We'll see you next time at Aragon.
Thank you. See you next week.
A superb win for Will, actually, as we mentioned. And it does indeed take the lead of the championship, as we saw just a moment ago with the standings. But before we go back to the standings, we are going to chat to our silver category winner from tonight. We are now going to chat to John Berry from the Type 2 Racing IMB team. John, can you hear us okay?
I can indeedy. Hello.
Fantastic. Welcome back to the comms booth, John. We spoke to you at Mexico, I believe, but tonight you join us as another winner, and this time in the endurance round here at Road America. Just tell us how that race kind of went for you from start to end.
I have to give thanks to Adam, Ben, Will, Harry, a few others that filled me with some confidence beforehand, because I cannot stand wet races. I absolutely, categorically do not want to do it. And I nearly pulled out of this evening because I don't want to do a wet race. But, well, I think I'm going to have to hold my tongue tonight. I obviously won it, so evidently I don't like them that much.
But yeah, we at the start of the race, it was all a bit chaotic. We just saw you passing by the Crest Autosport drivers to take I think it was second place at that point. But we had Zara McGuinness up ahead of you at this point in the race, and it looked like a tactical swap between you two. First of all, the first question is, was that a tactical swap? But second of all, how are you feeling watching Zara back there just holding up everyone? Because she did a brilliant job of doing that.
Yes, it was a tactical swap, but it wasn't tactical to the point of holding everyone else up. But obviously, thanks, Zara. That's very much appreciated. Didn't realise you were doing that because I wasn't trying to look behind. I was trying to focus on the road ahead of me. Yeah, I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? You've got to thank the people around you for doing what they can to help the team progress forward. I can't really do much more than that and just race my race and see where I end up. And tonight it was first. So, yeah, just fantastic result from myself, and thank you to my team.
Amazing stuff. So another win tonight. You did miss last time out at Interlagos, and you are promoted into silver category this season. You seem to be doing all right. So how are you feeling about your championship chances this season?
Well, yeah, let's just see how the rest of these races pan out. With lots going on, obviously real life racing, so 3 weeks time I'll be out at Snetterton. Following that I'll be at GT World Challenge. So then, I don't know what my calendar's going to look like in terms of the rest of the season, and places I've got to be and places to travel and whatever else. So I can't say, and I don't want to think about it yet, because yes, I'm doing fantastically well and I'm currently second in the category, but timescale could become the better of things, and I might end up missing a few rounds again, but we'll see.
We will see. We're looking forward to seeing what you can do for the rest of the season. Are you at all surprised by your performances in silver this season, or did you know deep down you had it in you?
No, I can't even talk about my performances because I didn't even know I had it in me. I thought that I would do all right. I thought I'd be a mid-pack driver. Watching last season where I was bronze and couldn't catch up to some silvers. Yeah, I might have been sort of mid to backpack at that point, but I had no idea I'd be front of the pack going into this, and I was a bit like anxious about going into it. How well am I going to do? Is this the right thing for me currently? Is my mindset in the right place to be fighting for podiums every week? I don't know, but at the moment I need to just settle my nerves and get on with it because I'm doing well.
Absolutely. And speaking of doing well, you might carry that doing well into next week. We've got Motorland Aragon next, a track I don't think you've raced at in this league, unless I'm mistaken. Nope. But how are you feeling about Aragon next week?
We'll find out tomorrow when we do our first test session on it. I've not long bought it, so I think I've done a couple of laps, but I'm not too sure. We'll find out, but yeah, I'm not feeling too confident yet, but that might change like it did today.
Watch those off tracks, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm much better at that this season. I used to get a lot. I think I got a contact early on, so that gave me 4. So I think I ended up with 12, maybe 13. I can't honestly tell you. But, my incident points have drastically dropped being in silver. I think that could be because I've moved up from bronze to silver, and the racing is better. It's a little bit more forgiving because the moves are more. What's the word I'm looking for? You're more aware of the moves going on around you because they're proper racing moves. They're not, dives from the other side of the world and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think the racing is better in silver, and I'm feeling comfortable with that.
That's good stuff. Brilliant. I think that's everything I wanted to ask you, John. Last thing is there anybody watching tonight on YouTube or Facebook that you want to say hi and thanks to?
Yeah, just again, the guys that I've already said thank you to, and Mum and Dad, obviously, if you're watching. So obviously that's the guys at Full Tilt, because they're a good laugh as well. Obviously, as Will said to you earlier, that Ben and Will hang around with us quite a lot. So thank you to them, and thank you for my team, giving me the confidence for this evening, and lots of progression moving forwards, because it's only up from here.
Amazing
and obviously
stuff.
All of our sponsors.
Brilliant. Lovely. Thanks very much, John. We'll see you next time in 2 weeks, hopefully, at Aragon Circuit.
Yes, thank you, and good night, everybody.
There we go. That was John Berry, winner of the silver category. I know it says 2 on the replay there, but that's because it's a replay. He was our winner in silver category tonight. We are going to chat to one more driver tonight. We are going to chat to someone who didn't have such a good race, unfortunately for them. We are going to chat to someone who always used to come into the comms booth, particularly in his heyday in the bronze category. Adam Wilson-Weir joins us in the comms booth. Adam, can you hear me first of all?
I can indeed. I like hard things.
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Okay, so 13th tonight. Now you are in gold category now, so it's right in the deep end. But yeah, tell us how you're feeling about tonight's race, Adam.
No, I had a real stinker tonight, honestly. The start was good. I got up to 3rd place in like 2 laps. Had a little spin. Took too much curbing there on the sharp left, and it was just all downhill from there. But it was kind of more like a yo-yo race. I was up, we get up about 3 or 4 places, and then another wee spin, back down again, back up again. It was back and forward the whole time.
And well, obviously we spoke to you a little bit last season, but how are you finding things in gold categories? Because actually this season you've done all right. You've picked up a few good results here and there this season. So how are you finding things?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it any different. I think if you look at me last season, the season that I won the championship in bronze, if you put me into silver, that's how I feel. I'm fitting in, I'm in the mix, but I just need to push and get that win. We've had lots of practice and with other leagues and stuff, and racing other guys, especially in the NXTGEN, in the Mazdas and GRs who are around similar pace of the iRacing and stuff. So it's just it's just getting the practice down, I suppose, really, and getting in the mix.
Yeah, completely agreed. So what are your goals for this season, really? What do you want to achieve at this season?
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss around because I'm away on holiday next week on Thursday. So I won't be able to attend that. But so I'm going to have a low point from tonight, and I'm going to have obviously a 0. So that'll be my drop round. So I mean, realistically, I'd like to be 7th. 7th or 8th. I'd be happy enough.
We're not racing next week, by the way. We've got a week off.
Oh, even better. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got a week off, and we're back on the 16th. Assuming you're here for that. It's Aragon next. So, how are you feeling about that track?
I love Aragon. It's a very technical track, and as you know, I love the technical stuff. Tonight, what isn't really technical, and I just don't do well in stuff like that, especially ones with straights, a left hand or right hand straights. It just does not suit my driving style. So Aragon's really, really good track for me. I'm really strong on it. But from another fixed series, you're looking at the Chevy. It was quite strong. It was actually really strong there. I think the Mustang was as well, along with the Mercedes. So it's, as you've probably seen, there's quite a lot of them cars on the grid. So I'm kind of on the back foot being in the Lamborghini. So I have to work harder than a lot of the other guys to try and get that pace. But yeah, it is what it is. I enjoy driving the Lamborghini, and that's why I'm in it. So
amazing stuff. And last of all, Adam, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching the broadcast tonight?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the full team. I mean, they did absolutely fantastic, especially the guys in the silver and bronze category. Really good points in the table. I think Harry and all came second as well in the gold. Overall, the team has done fantastic this season, so it's really strong for us at the start. And obviously, I want to give a shout out to yourself and everyone who's watching as well, and along with our sponsors. Thank you very much.
Amazing stuff. Thank you very much, Adam. Well done tonight. It might not be the result you were looking for, but still very good showing, as it has been all season. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Yes, can't wait. Thank you very much, and I'll see you then.
Thank you very much. There we go. Yeah, Adam Wilson there. It's a bit strange not seeing him in at the top of the timing table. I mean, he was fast-tracked to gold from bronze. But he is doing an absolutely amazing job in gold category, it's got to be said, because that is a tall order, jumping from bronze to gold. A couple of drivers have tried to do that. The likes of Jason Raff, he's gone up to gold from bronze. Jeffrey Kruger has gone back to silvers, actually, and he's no slouch. So, yeah, it's been very, very good from Adam Wilson. Yeah. So, I'm just trying to see if we can get an update on the points, because the points were not correct earlier. But what we will do is we will take a look at the results of our races tonight yet again. So these are the results from gold category. William Guthrie took the win from Benji McCluskey in second position. Harry Langford rounding off that top three. Stefan Vessels in fourth, followed by Matthew Sheraton and Gaz Williams fighting in the final moments of that race for fifth. Archie Bennett led the start of the race, was a master in the wet, but seventh for him in this race in the end due to an incorrect tyre choice when it came to pit stop number one. Jesse Payne Wilkins 8th, followed by Phil McDougall 9th and Jason Raff 10th. Meanwhile, in the silver category, it was a race win from the driver we spoke to earlier, John Berry, wins by half a second, having fuel saved a little bit towards the end there, as he mentioned to us. Finishes just ahead of Alan McCain in second position. Neil Forbes, a real strong night from Neil tonight. Third place for him. Quinton Klemper, also a very strong showing. Best result of the league so far for him. Fourth place. Matthew Addy had to pit late on for a splash and dash, is fifth, with Paul Williams in sixth position. Wojciech Kurp, seventh. Zara McGuinness, who led part of the race at the beginning, was eighth. Nigel Stock, who had an incident, fell down the order to ninth. And rounding off the top 10 was Stein Vatens. Bronze category now, and it's a win for Mr. Next Gen himself. Mark Sykes is top of the pops there. First position in this race by 3 seconds over Jonas Anderson, who now leads the championship. Andrew Allen is third position, followed by Josh Downing. Both of them struggled with tyre choices earlier on in the race. Kurt Van Honecker fifth, followed by Davide Favo. Jochen Seeger in 7th, Wesley Lewin 8th, Mike Reed in 9th, and Fabian Kozielek in 10th position. Just going to see if we're going to get a championship update. No, not by the looks of it. So we won't go through the championship standings because they are not actually correct. So we shan't tease you with any of them. But what we are going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is round off our round 3 here at Road America. This has been the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. And the next one is round 6 of the championship at the Nürburgring. But next up in the championship, we're going back to the sprint and feature race formats. But we have a week off next week. So, yeah, don't need to tune in this time next week. But 2 weeks from today, on the 16th of April, we'll be back with round 4 of the championship, sprint and feature race formats, preceded with qualifying, of course, and it'll be at the Motorland Aragon circuit, the outer layout in the northeastern region of Spain. Join us for that. And our next endurance round is on the 30th of April, and that will be at the Nürburgring, Gesamtstrecke, the VLN circuit, the Full Nordschleife. Thank you very much for watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Next Gen Racing GT3 Season 9, Round 3 at Road America. My name's Alex Everett. I've been your commentator tonight on behalf of Crest Autosport. A big thank you to Next Gen Racing for putting on the league and everyone who helps put on the league for Next Gen Racing. And a big thank you to the partners, sponsors and affiliates we have here at Next Gen Racing that are PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC. Thank you very much for watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Next Gen Racing Season 9 GT3s. And if you want to get involved in the racing, you still can. Scan the QR code you can see to the upper part of our screen there. That'll give you access to Next Gen Racing's Discord server. Additionally, as well, if you can't click on that, if you can't scan that QR link, there is a link in the description of this YouTube and Facebook video. Thank you very much for watching tonight. This has been Next Gen Racing. We'll see you next time in 2 weeks at the Aragon circuit in Spain. Thank you and good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at Next Gen Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.